Here are the biggest reveals and updates that were announced from PlayStation's February State of Play event. PlayStation just dropped a bunch of news at their latest State of Play event, new games, release dates, and surprises I didn't expect. Hi everyone, I'm Grime. We got tons of updates on some games we knew about and some brand new announcements that you gotta hear about. Trust me, one of these I've been dying to hear news on for years, so let's jump into it. First up, we have Lost Soul Aside. This game's been in development for a long time, starting as a one-man project before being picked up by Sony. When I first saw the trailer, it immediately reminded me of Final Fantasy 15. No surprise, since that's one of the developer's inspirations. Despite its humble beginnings, the trailers show a polished game that I'm seriously excited for. What really stands out is the combat. There's elemental swordplay, like fire-infused attacks, and a perfect dodge mechanic that rewards you for precision. The movement mechanics also look wild, with the main character surfing through the air on a board and even sprouting wings to get around. And just when I thought it couldn't get better, the trailer teased a massive fight scene at the end that looked like a full-on kaiju battle. Possibly with giant avatars clashing. Lost Soul Aside launches May 30th, and I can't wait to see how it all comes together. Next up, we finally have an official release date for Borderlands 4. I've been waiting very patiently for this one, and it's looking good. The trailers teased exciting combat, but we didn't get much footage during the State of Play. What we do know is that Gearbox is calling this their most ambitious Borderlands game yet. They're adding new movement mechanics like double jumps, dodges, and grappling, making combat feel even more fluid. There will also be brand new classes and abilities to experiment with, and let's hope for a more engaging story than Borderlands 3. While info is still pretty scarce, a deep dive is planned for this spring. Borderlands 4 drops on September 23rd, and I can't wait. At number 3, Stellar Blade is getting its second DLC crossover with Goddess of Victory, Nikke, and it's incredible how much support this game has had since its 2024 release. Considering it's a single-player game with no live service elements, it blows me away that in 2025 it's still getting so much love. Fans have been loving the customizable outfits for Eve, and this DLC is adding even more. But the real highlight, the game's first ever new boss fight. This announcement has me hyped to start a New Game Plus run. And if that wasn't enough, Stellar Blade is finally coming to PC. Great news for Gooners and modders, so go ahead and rejoice. The Stellar Blade Nikke crossover DLC and PC port both drop sometime in June. At number 4, we have Saros. One of the biggest announcements for me, this reveal had me hyped. But you're probably thinking, what the hell is Saros and why should I care? Don't worry, I got you. Saros is the next big title from House Marquet, the creators of Returnal, but this isn't Returnal 2. It's a brand new world with a new character, and House Marquet seems to be determined to make Saros stand on its own while building on Returnal's foundation. The big difference? Saros will feature permanent resources and progression, so every death has value. Expect permanent weapons and suit upgrades, making it easier to bounce back after dying. This could open the game up to a wider audience, but don't think that Saros will be easy. There will still be brutal, bullet hell bosses to take on. While the release is still a ways off, we can expect a gameplay reveal later this year and a launch sometime in 2026. At number 5, we have Directive 8020, the latest from Supermassive Games, the minds behind Until Dawn and The Quarry. These guys have mastered the story-driven narrative adventure genre, and now they're taking it to space. Heavily inspired by The Thing, the story revolves around your companions possibly being aliens in disguise. Your choices will determine whether you make it out alive, which adds a ton of tension and mystery. New mechanics like tools to open doors, scanners to detect electronics, and flashlights will make the gameplay feel fresh. But fans of Supermassive style can expect familiar features like QTEs and branching plot lines. Directive 8020 is set to release on October 2nd, and I can't wait to see how they dial up the suspense in this one. At number 6, we have Days Gone Remastered, one of the most underrated games that's been stuck in my backlog forever. I've heard so many people say, hey, check out Days Gone, it's never got the popularity it deserved. Now that it's getting a remaster, there's no better time to experience the best version of this game. So here's the rundown. Updated graphics, 2 new game modes, DualSense support, and an enhanced photo mode. And just like the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, if you already own Days Gone, you can upgrade for just $10. For Days Gone fans, this is exciting news, because if this remaster does well, there's a real chance we could finally see Days Gone 2. The remaster drops on April 25th, so mark your calendars. At number 7, we have Tides of Annihilation, a new hack-and-slash action-adventure from Eclipse Glow Studio. You play as Gwendolyn, who wields the power of spectral knights, each with a unique color and ability that you can summon in battle. From the trailers, it's clear the combat system will be varied and complex, which is essential for a hack-and-slash game. Based on the most recent gameplay, I couldn't help but think of Final Fantasy XVI. Gwendolyn's attacks using her knights with fast light attacks and heavy slow strikes really reminded me of how Clyde summons icons and switches between their abilities. Whether or not Final Fantasy was an inspiration here, I'm just glad to see Sony giving us new IPs, especially ones that aren't another live service attempt like Concord. No release date yet, but we can probably expect Tides of Annihilation sometime in 2026. At number 8, we finally got an official release date for Hell Is Us. For those who don't know, Hell Is Us is an action-adventure game set in a war-torn country, where you'll face eerie supernatural entities while unraveling a mysterious story. The gameplay looks fast-paced and immediately reminded me of a mix between Death Stranding and Returnal. It's definitely a title I'm keeping my eye on in 2025. The hype is real for some of these announcements. Hell Is Us drops on September 4th. At number 9, we have Onimusha, Way of the Sword. I hadn't heard much about this series, but after hearing all the hype, I'm definitely curious. Fans have been raving about the games, and it's a huge surprise that the series is getting revived. So far, Onimusha Warlords, the first in the series, was remastered in 2018, and now Onimusha Samurai's Destiny is getting its own remaster on May 23rd. If you haven't checked out this series yet, now's the perfect time to dive in and get caught up before Onimusha Way of the Sword hits in 2026. And at number 10, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Secrets of the Mimic. By now, pretty much the entire internet has at least heard of Five Nights at Freddy's, but if somehow you missed it, these are some of the best modern horror games out. I have spent more time than I'd like to admit just going through lore videos to find out all there is to know about the story, spending way too much of my time reading and listening to wild theories and such. Five Nights at Freddy's Secrets of the Mimic releases on June 13th. We did get a lot of news at Sony State of Play, some you might have been hoping for, but also you might not have gotten all that you were looking for. Here are some additional announcements worth knowing. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii got a demo that is live now to download. Give it a try, even if you were on the fence about it, now's the perfect time to make a decision. Liza P gets a prequel DLC update called Overture. It's releasing sometime in summer of this year. And we got the official release for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This did leak before the official announcement, but in case you missed the leak, it is releasing August 28th. All this news was great, and we did get to hear about some awesome new games we can expect in the future. But if you're still wondering what games are on the horizon, check out this video on the biggest games releasing in 2025. Thanks for watching. Until next time.